Calling from a 625 area code. Who's this? 626 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
626.
Hello.
Hello.
My name's Aaron. Hi.
Hi, Aaron. Where are you calling from?
California, near L.A.
What's on your mind?
Well, I just wanted to know your opinion about the GOP tax bill.
About the Republican tax bill? It's a disaster.
Yeah, what do you think about it?
I think it's a disaster.
Because of the corporate tax cuts?
Well,
I'm assuming.
I mean, the corporate tax cuts are I think, a huge giveaway. I don't know that, like, look, if you could actually genuinely simplify the corporate tax structure so that we couldn't play this game with what effective tax is versus the rate of taxation, I could see some value in that. But I think things like the getting rid of the deductions for state taxes is horrible policy. I think changing the estate tax is not only is it horrible policy, it's sort of like morally reprehensible. And I would say getting rid of deductions for increased medical expenses is morally reprehensible. I mean, this is just off the top of my head, but there's more. There's more to it as well. But
I'm kind of inclined to agree with you. But one of the things I feel like,
I'm not surprised.
If that were to be, I feel like the strategy of the left should say, well, since you have corporate tax cuts, then maybe businesses who have corporate tax cuts can now afford minimum wages. What do you think?
Well,
Could that be a strategy that?
I mean, here's the thing. They can afford it now. So the only reason why I wouldn't be pushing...
How do you know that?
How do I know that? Because you've got these corporations that are sitting on literally trillions of dollars of cash. And...
Is it literally trillions?
Literally trillions.
Which, can you give me an example, like Walmart?
Apple?
Starbucks? Apple? Trillions.
Well, no. I'm saying all corporations together. I'm not talking about the specific companies themselves. Yeah, the aggregate. Correct.
Oh, in aggregate. Well, isn't that kind of disingenuous?
Isn't that kind of disingenuous?
To say in aggregate, you can't.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. I mean,
blame it on everybody.
So you want to have a specific argument about one specific corporation? Which corporation can't afford $15 minimum wage?
Well, I think Starbucks can afford it. If anything, they should do $15.
What were the profits of Walmart this past year?
I'm not sure. What is it?
I don't know, but you're the one who's saying it's disingenuous to use a figure that represents all corporations, and you're telling me it's disingenuous to suggest that Walmart, which I know is the profits are in the billions upon billions of dollars. I'd be surprised if it was even remotely close to less than 100, the tens of billions of dollars. So, yes, I think they can afford it.
Okay. I mean, I'm not trying to, say you're wrong or anything. I just kind of, want to know, if that's the case, what you're stating. I kind of want to know. Because when you say,
I just don't think it's...
aggregate...
I mean, obviously, if I don't say a company and I say corporations are sitting on trillions of dollars of cash, then I'm not saying each corporation that exists has trillions of dollars of cash. I'm incorporated. I don't have trillions of dollars of cash. So, yes, I'll be more clear about that. I'm sorry. I thought that was a fairly sort of commonly known, methodology of expressing oneself. But I will also say this. It is not because there's not going to be any increase in hiring from these tax cuts, because there's both. We know this from past experience.
Well, then maybe you could do that through government. Maybe you can say, well, we'll make a bill. Hey, we'll give you a break if you treat your employees better. Just say, hey, we'll give you a tax cut if you give it to your employees. Kind of thing.
Or if that's the purpose of the tax cut, then you know what you could do? Just give it to the employees.
Yeah, definitely. Make it like a tax credit.
Right. I mean, if you want to scrap this corporate tax cut and give and continue to our taxes and, provide for more funding for Social Security, let's say, I'm all for that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's kind of like, well, if the Republicans were to do this, if they really are for the rich, then I feel like it's our job as the people to be like, well, let's try to make it fair here. If you're going to do this, then we should do this as well. Because
well, yes, that would be great. And if you and I both had wings, we could fly and have this conversation on the top of a hill. But my point is that like, there's no saying to Republicans, hey, you're doing something egregious. That's okay if you do something good too, because. But here's the thing. You're
going nowhere.
No, but dude, here's the point.
I think you're going nowhere.
Here's the point.
Yes.
They can't pass this unless they wait. Let me finish the point. Because they're doing this with only 51 votes, they need to go through a special process known as reconciliation. In the Senate, there are very specific rules as to what bills are eligible for this kind of special treatment. One of those rules deals with how much it can add to the deficit on a 10-year plus horizon. So the reason why they are saying to elderly people, if you have more than $10,000 worth of medical expenses, you can't deduct it beyond that anymore. They're doing that because they need to save money so that they can provide tax cuts to people who are billionaires when they roll back the estate taxes. They need to do that because they're cutting taxes for extremely wealthy people, and they're doing it off the backs of sick people, poorer people, in many cases middle-class people. They're doing it on the backs of people who live in states that provide services for their citizens. I'm sorry, there is not a shred of evidence that you can present to the Republican Party something that is rational or humane, and they will act upon it any more than there's evidence that you and I can grow wings and fly and meet each other on the top of a tall mountain. But I appreciate the call, and I think the sentiment is there. It's just that it's not real.
That sounds like a great
I appreciate
tax plan, though. It does sound very sensible. By the way, caller,
I mean, look,
I hope you
I subscribe to the theory that we don't need taxes to spend. But even if I didn't, so I don't have a problem with giving tax cuts to wealthy people because it starves the government. I have a problem giving tax cuts to wealthy people because we have a society where wealth inequality is so extreme that it is damaging our society in a multitude of ways, both economically and politically, and in terms of the lives of human beings. And so I am for confiscatory tax policy, not because we need to raise money, although if people insist that we do, then fine, that's an added bonus. But because we need to prevent the continuation of a moneyed aristocracy in this country that also dominates our politics because of it. Calling from a 605 area code. Who's this?
Hi, this is Dylan from South Dakota, and I'd like to talk about the Forest Service in regards to last week with the fires and talk about nationalizing public lands.
Please do.
So in 2016, the Forest Service spent over half of its budget on fighting wildfires. And this year, they're probably going to go through that again and continue to do so year after year. And I imagine this is going to be one of the arguments for privatizing the land, is that the Forest Service doesn't do anything on it in terms of management. But that's because they have to basically every time they go over their budget, they don't go to FEMA for funding or anything like that. They pay for all of the disaster relief on their own. So they pilfer prevention programs to pay for firefighting.
Right. And then, of course, they get more fires because there's not enough money in the prevention programs.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And this has been going on for quite some time. And like there's even like little things that they do to save money. Like their employees are often at a pay grade lower than like employees in other federal agencies that do similar jobs.
Wow.
So like they have a very severe budget issue, and like that should be something we on the left look towards fixing in the future, because it's not going to get any better.
I hope there is a long. I hope there's. I mean, I hope some wealthy person who, with the money that they would have left over after I confiscatory took away a lot of their money for taxes, are funding some type of think tank that is basically drawing up a list, because there's going to be a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed soon. I appreciate the call.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
Someone just IM'd me. Walmart's the annual net profits, $13.6 billion over the past year. Here, I just got this. Brendan just sent me this.
Was it 131 or 13?
Was it 131 or 13? I thought somebody just IM'd me 13.
This is gross profit. I'm not a business.
Oh, wait a second. Gross profit. I believe it's net sales minus the cost of goods. Oh, yes, it's gross profit. I'm sorry. I apologize. It's not 13 billion. I'm mistaken. Correction. 131 billion.
140, we get the 15.
If we didn't get the and just FYI, you had estate tax. These are the number of estates that are going to be eligible for the federal estate tax in 2018. In California, there's going to be 1,000 estates. In Florida, 700. In New York, 458. In Texas, 301. In Illinois, 220. In Pennsylvania, there'll be 140 whole people who are subjected to the estate tax. In Georgia, 92. Let's see, in Minnesota, 59. Sorry, Montana, only 28 of your estates will be subjected to the estate tax. Vermont, 19 lucky winners who will be sending their kids, bequeathing their kids. And this is at the lowered rates that exist now. Only $5 million per person get it be completely tax-free, and then any dollar after that is going to be taxed at a 40% rate. 18 lucky families in Rhode Island.
I'm going to go to every single family in Vermont personally and tell them to go fuck themselves.
Give me a break.
At their door.
I mean, come on.
It's a little taste of the gulags to come, so enjoy your tax cut now.
Freedom!
Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos